I got an email from Discovery Channel. Pilgrim Studios that works for Discovery Channel, and everything was coming together. I went to film school because of my favorite show, Street Outlaws, that's made from Pilgrim Studios on Discovery Channel. And the next thing you know, during COVID, when I'm completely down and out and worried that Tucci Racing was going to completely die out, I got an email from Pilgrim Studios saying that Discovery Channel is starting a new show with Street Outlaws, and they want footage from me, which was a dream come true.
Hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom LaFaso. This is the Follow the Winners podcast. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of different social media subjects, getting into some nitty-gritty aspects of what social media is to different people and how to grow and how to kind of take your ability and amplify it. So I'm with Chris Tucci today. He is the proud owner of Tucci Racing. So I'm just gonna leave it up to him, and he's gonna talk a little bit. So Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So what's going on, guys? My name is Chris again. Tom just introduced me. Thank you. Basically, I own and operate with just putting it on the table. It's not just me. My cousin Nick also, if he's watching this, he's a huge part of it, my family and all that. I just wanted to put that out there in the beginning. I told myself in the beginning I was going to make sure that I was going to mention them so I didn't forget. So it's not just me, whatever we get into. It's also my cousin runs it. But basically what we do is we make social media content. We started out on Instagram, putting pictures and videos together, basically around the sport of drag racing, mostly street racing. But there's a lot of aspects to it that I'm sure we'll get into. So I won't, I'll wait for your questions to get into most of it. So I don't just answer everything at one time right now, but
yeah,
basically, we just film and edit and take pictures of drag racing and street racing, and we've traveled all over the place doing it. And we're just trying to grow some sort of social media presence and YouTube presence and all that. So that's pretty much what I'm mainly doing right now. And then I work for another company that does real estate. But shout out to them as well for letting me travel all the time. I want to make sure I got them in there too.
Awesome.
EPM Studios, but yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, love that. Everything that you are doing is really cool. That's why I wanted you on the podcast, because I wanted to talk about all these, I don't know, sort of like how you got to this point realistically. It's kind of like why I was putting a list together of people, and I'm like, Chris is definitely one of the people I want to talk to, just because you've been at this for longer than I have, and that's why I turned to you for these kinds of things. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what's funny is a side note is we went to middle school together.
Yeah.
And we went to high school together. And this is probably, despite our business that we do here and there, or the text message that we go back, this podcast is potentially the longest time we've ever actually spoken to each other.
That's true.
Not through text message, which is kind of funny.
We've had a few different conversations, but I haven't really... You're 100%. But that's why I'm excited, because I was like, all right, you know what? This is a good opportunity to sit down and chat a little bit and get into more of what you do, and then I can even explain further. I mean, I feel like I've explained plenty about what goes on in my world, but
yeah.
So all right, my first question is, and look, it's literally follow the winners. So obviously there's been specific things that you've been able to win at. I think you're up to 30K followers or something close to that.
We're pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm unable to do that, so I think it's awesome, and it's an achievement that most people are unable to do. You're in a percentage of people that can get an account that isn't also just I made one stupid social media video that blew up and I got 1 million views, and now all of a sudden I have 30K subscribers, and it's I mean, that's cool.
I wouldn't consider that we got lucky.
No,
you know what I mean,
it's been a lot of hard work and things like that. So my question is what is the success of that mean to you, in a sense? What does it mean, and how did you get there?
Okay, so I can go with like a long story, or I can go from a short story.
No,
so
give me the long story. We got plenty of time.
It depends on we can talk about it all day because there's been stuff that got me here that goes way back. But the success of Tucci Racing itself, I mean, I would consider first off, I have to say I appreciate it to be on here and be considered as one of the winning, in quotes, people that you decide to choose. But I guess it goes back from, if we're just talking Tucci Racing side, it goes back to probably, I'd say about maybe 2015. We decided to, I decided to leave playing baseball, which is something that I did my entire life, and really got into the automotive thing. I've been around it my whole life. Yeah. And being that I put baseball aside and that part of my life was over, I started getting addicted to a show called Street Outlaws on Discovery Channel. And from there, we just started, filming all over the place and going crazy. And I don't even know how to word it because I never really get the opportunity to talk about, little things that I've done. But so you're basically saying I guess you just cut this part quick, but
no.
Just reiterate the question for me again.
No, you're good. You're explaining exactly what I want to hear, and at the same time,
okay.
I'll ask a second question because it's kind of like I want your answer in two ways. As you were talking, I want like your answer in two ways. So it's basically it's been a lot of hard work for you in this to get to the point that you're at. Like you've been to like I know you've gone to like events. I know you've gone to like a whole bunch of different things that you've tried and been able to like I don't even know like just like pass around. Have you had like stickers that you pass around and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I can give you the timeline if that's probably better because that's pretty much how my best way to explain it would give you the timeline. So if you're up for that, I could just tell you from the day it started pretty much to where I'm at now. Yeah, that's totally up to you. But I'll keep it as brief as possible. So
yeah, give it to me.
Basically, like I said before, I stopped playing baseball and I got into a show called Street Outlaws, and from there, I was pretty much in college. I didn't really have like an idea what I really wanted to do. And I got into that show. And from getting into that show got me invested in drag racing. Like my family's done since, the day I was born. And I was never really involved. And then from there, basically what happened is I started watching a show, then I took it to the next level. I went to film school. I went to Five Towns College in Dix Hills. Did 3.5 years there. I got a bachelor's degree. But during that time, I went to actually had a documentary class that I had to film a documentary, believe it or not. And
that's cool.
I had to film a documentary, and my choice was to go all the way to Maryland to interview a drag racing YouTuber. Oh, and it was pretty cool. Pretty cool guy. I still talk to him here and there.
What was his name?
And
what was his name?
John Doherty.
What kind of car
is his name? He's got a ton. Oh yeah. He's got a ton. But he's got like 100,000 followers now. He probably had like subscribers now. He probably had maybe 40,000 back then.
Oh wow.
So he's gotten pretty big since then. So I don't think that video has actually ever. I don't think that video's ever made it on Tucci Racing's channel, but that was one of the first videos that I posted on the channel in 2017. So 2017, we opened the Tucci Racing YouTube channel, and before then, I guess the 30,000 you were talking about was Instagram. Yeah. Which was a whole nother task to get to that point, whatnot. Which I guess we'll save that for the next question or whatever. But basically from there, what happened is I just got wrapped up in this filming of race car stuff. And I always wanted to do the YouTube thing. I've always been around it. I've been making videos of me playing baseball since I was 14 years old. And then, I got into the drag racing thing. And ever since then, it's just been constant traveling and stuff like that. And a lot of not hardship, but, there's a lot of progression of where I started and then from where I ended up now that got me to where I'm at now. And listen, like I said before, I wouldn't consider we got lucky, but, it was a lot of hard work. And Tucci Racing to me is, I remember one of the parts of the question before I started rambling was basically how much does that success mean to me? And I mean, it's really weird because that success, it's like it's so near and dear to me, not only because it's something that I put a lot of my own money in and my own time and a lot of sacrifices that I had myself, but it's also my family and my family's name.
Yeah. And
it's just everything that I do is calculated in a sense, and if it's not 110%, I won't do it. It just means it's like it's unexplainable how much this brand and what I've done so far and what we continue to do means to me. It's like I can't even put it into words. I think about it constantly, and it's just something that I constantly work on.
I mean, I think they would call that like a passion, pretty much.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, if you want to narrow it down to one word, it's definitely passion. We probably could have saved about 15 minutes of me rambling if I just shot out that word, but
that's not what I'm looking for. Anybody could just say passion, but like, yes, that is it in one word. You're 100%.
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome, man. And then I really, so with Instagram though, actually, we can get into that after. So then my same question is, I know that so I'm only asking about that success in a nutshell, but let's just say overall life success. What does overall life success mean to you? What level of life do you feel that you need to be at to be successful? Are you there right now? What, you know what I mean? What's your definition of success in your brain?
That's a tough question. That's a tough question to hit hard on. I like to consider success. One thing that I consider success is that it has absolutely nothing to do with money, personally.
Yeah.
Having support from family and friends and, having a tight-knit group of people and, all of that, I think is what success is. I don't consider the dollar that you make at the end of the day has nothing to do with being successful. I know it might be the technical term for being successful in business, but I don't think I'm anywhere close to that point yet. But I feel like if we keep working, and we've been doing this since 2017, and now it's 2022. There was a lot of stuff that happened in that gray area where I took a break and whatnot because of other reasons. But I just feel like a couple of years from now, hopefully we get out and do some more stuff. I think that's the point of when I'll be quote unquote successful. I mean, I have the other things, I guess. I have the support and the love from family and friends, obviously, which is what I mean as success. But if you were talking being successful in business and the money aspect and, all that stuff, I feel like, I'm not there yet, but we keep putting in the work and it'll come.
Oh, yeah. No, exactly. I mean, I think everybody has a different outlook on it. I did a podcast, the last podcast that I did, and my takeaway from it was the fact that you don't need to find financial success in order to be quote unquote successful in your life.
Absolutely.
And, successful and being happy, absolutely, I find are the exact same thing, because I mean, personally, and that's what I'm trying to find this journey and go through it and also see how people have gotten to different parts in their success, It's for you, for example, is you really started grinding at this a few years ago. Now, what, this is what, 6 years ago, basically, 2017.
2017, yeah.
Yeah, so that's that putting in all that work and also planting that seed of being all right, this is something I'm going to do and continuously keep working at it. It equated to something. Which is really cool.
I was telling myself the other day, I'll do YouTube and I'll do this race car thing. I don't have to make $1. I'm not going to do it until They got to shut YouTube down before I stop, and Instagram down before I stop posting videos and pictures on there and all that shit and making content for it. They're gonna have to close both sites down because there's no way I'm stopping that. No matter where I'm at, no matter what numbers I got, it's come to a point where the past 6 years it's just what we do. It's just what me and my dad and my family do. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I watch like a ton of your videos. I'm always like hitting the like button.
I appreciate
on them because. Nah, dude. I know the grind. I know what goes into making these videos. You know, it takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And especially when you're making like good videos like yours, like you're like the racing videos that you create. No, they look sick, dude. Like the camera quality is fucking awesome. So I love that. It. This basically goes into my next question though, which is like what makes you tick. So like. What's your motivation every day, basically? I know you just said, like, you know, you always want to keep making videos, but what's causing you to feel that way?
I'll say it's probably two things. One, it's because it's almost like second nature. It's like I said before, it's like me and my dad, we just got in from the garage. We called it super early today, but I mean, we're in the garage. Practically a part-time job, if not more than a part-time job, working on stuff. And when I'm working on stuff, I'm filming. So like it's almost like second nature, and it's a lot of fun for, you know, me and my dad. Obviously, I couldn't ask for anything better, really. But I guess the second thing would more or less be, I don't know. It's tough because like I would like to be that guy. That, you know, just another one of the successful drag race guys on YouTube. I mean, it's just like so many people that I watch are just, you know, it's tough. It's tough to explain, but it's just like you just want to be that guy. Like I don't want to be physically that guy, but I want to be in the position that these people are at, where they could go outside in the garage in this, you know, beautiful space and just work on your own shit and work on your own cars and go to the racetrack every other day and be able to live by one and then not have to worry about the financials, really. I mean, I know I said that being successful really doesn't have anything to do, in my opinion, with a dollar, but, you know, whether it comes down to it or not, it makes life 10 times easier.
Yeah, I mean, you're not talking about being filthy rich in a sense, but yeah, I mean, I totally understand. A lot of these guys on YouTube, I mean, you get yourself like 100K subscribers, like the guy you were just talking about, and he gets to like kind of live his dream of being like almost like a race car driver, and at the same time, someone who gets to work on cars, and then you get opportunities of working on other people's cars, and like. Yeah, it constantly amplifies itself for sure. I mean, you go. I was just saying you have a good platform overall. You know,
I appreciate it.
So
yeah, it's just you know, I just want to take Tucci Racing and the Tucci name to a part in drag racing, whether it's on YouTube or, you know, winning races or something. Just take that name and that brand to somewhere that it sticks in the sport for as long as it possibly can. Yeah. You know, past me being alive or anything, I just want people to remember. And I've always, for some reason, my whole life, I felt like I've had something to prove, starting at baseball and now racing. Mm-hmm. You know, I just want to take that name, and I just want it to be, I want people to know who it is and what it is, and I want to be able to go and you know, really put a stake in the ground in drag racing, and people remember who we are.
Are you guys racing right now, or you're just still building your race car?
Right now we have 3 cars to race. So this year is the first year that we'll be able to more frequently race. We have a new truck that my father has purchased, which is great, which is huge to our racing program. We got cars, and we have a trailer now. We're always missing one little thing to not make it, but now all the pieces of the puzzle have finally come together within, actually only 2 weeks ago, we got the last piece of the puzzle, was this tow vehicle. So we plan on 2023 being a huge year for the racing program and for us, but a huge year for Tucci Racing to get out of the garage and finally get some videos of us instead of us traveling across the United States to film other people do cool shit. We're going to be able to do it on our own thing and do our own vlogs. So that's pretty much the game plan for 2023 is to really start racing again.
Yeah. Hey, that's exciting, honestly. And that's really exciting way to like grow the channel because people love that stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's huge.
And not everybody can afford to race on a level like that, really. So if you can do it, and with your ability to film and so on, it's a good combination.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, luckily there's 4 of us that if it was just me paying for it, then there's no way I'd be able to do it. But at least there's 4 of us that are really in, and then the backing of our families that are able to make a lot of this happen. But yeah, it is an expensive sport, but it should be a good year.
You have your family to help you out and work with and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess let me just ask you. This is just like a life question overall.
Okay.
Have you ever found that you like won in something in your life, whatever it is? Like literally, it could be anything that you were just like, oh yeah, I won at this. This is something.
So there's 2 things. One was playing baseball in high school. That was just if we're just talking life and not just
just
film.
Life. No, life in general.
If we're talking life, then my number 1 thing probably is playing baseball in high school. But then I guess if you want to turn more into the aspect, of the social media aspect. There was one time that I won, but it just so happens as soon as I found out that I finally got to a point where I feel like I won, I got pretty much tossed off the totem pole and took a break from Tucci Racing, which I mentioned earlier in the show. I mean, I can get into it if you want me to get into it a little bit. It's up to you. Yeah, it could be a long story, but I'll definitely get into. I can get into the whole story if you'd like.
Yeah, what happened?
If you'd like.
Yeah.
So.
Was this during COVID?
Yeah, it was during COVID. Yeah. So basically, I guess we'll keep a long story short. So basically, in 2020. From 2017 to 2020, early 2020, before COVID, I was pretty much addicted to filming street racing. And it's not necessarily addicted to it in the sense that like I need to be there because I have some strange addiction on seeing a street race. But I had it was almost like I knew people in my area would be there getting the footage, and I needed to also be there to get the footage. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation before, but when you're competing with other people, it's more or less like, if they're there and they get the footage, then they were at that race and now I don't have the footage. Yeah. It's kind of odd. It's a constant competition because realistically speaking, I mean, everyone that I'm in quote unquote competition with are all super nice people. Yeah. And it's not like there was some sort of rivalry. Yeah. But, when
do you ever? Sorry to cut you off, but do you ever get paid for that footage? Do people like reach out to you? And, like,
no. Well, later in the story, yes, I was getting an option to get paid, and that was one of the problems. But the stuff that I made, I'll just be totally honest because we could just be totally honest in here. Yeah. Out of all the stuff that I filmed since 2017, I could show you, even if you want to put a screenshot on there. I've traveled all over the East Coast, and yes, I've got some sponsorship money to get me there and get back, which is only a few times. We really never wanted to do a sponsorship thing because we wanted to do it all on our own. Yeah. And we spent way more than the sponsorship money gave us. It just helped us get a little bit here and there. I made $172 in 5 years of traveling the United States filming street racing. So if I was in it for the money, I probably would have quit. Yeah. I would have quit already.
I hear you.
So if I was in it for the money, then it would have just been over by now. But anyway, so I pretty much got addicted to filming it, and I had to be at everything. And when you get into a street race scene, it's, believe it or not, everybody in the scene is like super cool. You would think that it would be some underground, like, when people looking in and you see it on the news, it's almost like it's like fucking gang activity or something like that when a street race goes on, and like all shitty people. Actually, some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. But anyway, so
I know that.
when you, when you get into that space, it's they don't let people know. You know what I mean? They don't just like send out a message saying, you know, hey, so and so is going to street race so and so out on East Long Island. You know, nobody knows that. You have to be in the clique and in the circle. So basically, you kind of had to be at everything. And if you weren't at everything,
you're not right.
Once you say, nah, man, I can't make it tonight. I don't know, man, I can't make it tonight. Then that's it. You just snap a finger because they don't need you there.
Yeah.
They're not doing it to be famous. They're doing it to gamble a lot of money on the street and race. So realistically speaking, they don't need me there. They're just trying to be nice. So as soon as you say no once or twice, that's, the chances of you getting told again is slim to none. Now I think I've grown enough of friendships and respect from these people that I could just message them now and say, hey, what's going on? And they'll let me know. But back then, I didn't know anybody. Yeah. So like it was either I had to be all in or all out.
Yeah. I mean, I get that though. I have friends that are in the scene and they're like all the way in. It's either they're all the way in or they're like just not, you know.
Do I know who they are?
I don't think so, honestly.
They didn't go to school with us, did we?
No, because I met them all through somebody I met at BOCES, and then you probably don't really know any of these. I mean, maybe through like your car scene ways you might know them, but I'm not gonna throw out their names on this right now.
Yeah.
But
okay. You tell me after then, because I kind of want to know if I know who they. I kind of want to know if I know who they are.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but that's cool. I mean, it's interesting, and it's like, I mean, it's just like Need for Speed, man. It's like the video games. You gotta climb your way up through the ranks. You know, people don't trust you. They're not gonna tell you shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just just like how it is.
Yeah, it's crazy. So then from there, COVID hit, and I was pretty much having like a complete mental breakdown because street racing didn't stop because of COVID. It actually got a little bit better because there was less people around.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I got the scare in the beginning of COVID, and it was either, it was a lot of going back and forth. Do I want to risk it? Do I want to risk getting my dad sick, my mom sick? Do I, back then you got sick with COVID. I mean, that was, I don't know if, when you got sick with COVID, it was like, it was over for you, whether it was no matter what. So, but the people in the street racing community really don't, give a shit about that. So, they're already risking their lives for a couple $1,000 racing illegally on the street. So they don't really care about COVID. So, COVID came around, I'm freaking out. And then I got an email. And this email actually was from, I don't know, I probably never even told you this. I don't really talk about it because of what happened with the whole deal. But I got an email from Discovery Channel. Pilgrim Studios that works for Discovery Channel. And everything was coming together. I went to film school because of my favorite show, Street Outlaws, that's made from Pilgrim Studios on Discovery Channel. And the next thing you know, during COVID, when I'm completely down and out and worried that Tucci Racing was going to completely die out, I got an email from Pilgrim Studios saying that Discovery Channel is starting a new show with Street Outlaws, and they want footage from me, which was a dream come true.
Hell yeah, that's so cool.
So, basically, that happened. I went through the whole process. That was probably the highest I've ever been. I got a couple bucks for it. And long story short.
Oh, you actually sent them the footage though? Like it went through?
Yeah. So I sent them. They were looking for very specific footage because somebody showed them a video of one of the things that I've done. They wanted specific videos. And they pretty much said, I film a lot of stuff in New York and blah, blah, blah. So they're like, listen, send over some stuff and we'll take a look. So I was driving for Uber Eats then. That's how deep into COVID it was. I didn't even have a job because of COVID. And I stopped. I didn't work that day. And I stayed home and I made sure I got
the crispiest footage.
like everything together. I wrote it all out, you know, everything I learned in the 2 or 3 years of film school, of writing emails and bullshit like that and sending footage. I did all that and I made sure I got it out. And I actually got a call back from a lady, and she pretty much said that there's a lot of footage here that they want to use, and they gave me the closing section of the season premiere. So like I was the last part of the season premiere, and then I would have been, I'll get to what happened, and then I would have been the main section of the second episode, and they only discussed 2 episodes, and I sent them like a ton of footage. So like going from there, I probably would have had a ton of footage in there in the whole show.
Yeah. But what happened?
So basically what happened is that, well, I keep the long story short again because it can go on forever, but one of the guys that, so the season trailer came out, and one of the things that I submitted was some guy was talking a lot of shit and whatnot about New York and that we suck and all this bullshit. And we went to New Jersey and they raced, and the guy actually got completely slapped. Like the guy got slapped, he wouldn't pay, he got beat up and whatnot. So I actually sent that footage to Discovery being like, this is gold. They have to use this shit. And that's what they were going to use in the season premiere. Come to find out, we had a discussion and whatnot, and they were supposed to contact the person that got slapped or blur their face out. They didn't do either of that. So now there's a ton of people street racing, some guy getting slapped in the face.
And they put it on TV?
And they just put it on TV. And they didn't,
oh my God.
They didn't blur his face out. Which, listen, I don't know if that's Pilgrim's fault or Discovery's fault. I don't know whose fault it is. It's over with. But obviously that caused a lot of problems between me and the person because the person didn't really like us in the first place. But the way he acted, he earned it. But
yeah, no, for sure. Obviously, you know what I mean. Like, I mean, you're gonna race and you're not gonna pay.
Yeah,
that's your own problem right there. But that's crazy that they would do that and put it on TV.
Yeah. So they put it on TV, and what happened was, I'm at the, you know, I'm watching the trailer. I got my parents there, my girlfriend there. And it was that moment where it was like all these people that thought that I would be absolutely useless and this would never go anywhere. Now I'm on Discovery Channel on Street Outlaws. Yeah. So then 2 hours later, I see on Facebook that one of the guys from Street Outlaws is absolutely destroying us on Facebook. So I'm not a person for controversy. I don't have to be liked by everyone, but I'm sensitive in the sense that if I'm not like, you know, I don't want people talking shit about me on Facebook. I didn't do anything. I worked my ass off for this. It was a dream come true. I didn't mean anything by it besides fulfill the dream of working for Street Outlaws and being part of what got me started in this whole thing. This was a dream come true to me. It wasn't about the money or anything like that.
No.
But unfortunately, I pretty much got semi-canceled on Facebook. So now I go from the height of fulfilling my dreams of Tucci racing to then 2 hours later am like complete distraught and like I don't want to say I got canceled because I'm still here. I mean, people get canceled and they're like their whole shit goes, you know, everything goes down the tubes. We still do what we do, but it took me a year and a half to actually show my face again. And
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, so, you know, and despite thinking that it's right or wrong, what we did, I mean, the shit was on YouTube. There's more views on YouTube videos than there was on Discovery season premiere of the show. So, like,
it's not, you say that you can't blame yourself for somebody else's decisions of being a dummy.
So it's just like, so then, you know, then I see all these Street Outlaw guys that I look up to in that sense now talking shit about the show. And unfortunately, when the show trailer came out, I posted that we were part of the show, and not many people did, so some people stayed hidden. But we were so excited about it that we got this opportunity that, you know, we posted something and the next thing you know, we sold out street racing and we're sellouts and we're all pieces of shit and snitches get stitches and all this shit. So I had like a mental breakdown for like 2 weeks to the point that I actually called the person that I talked to and I said, listen, I don't care what you have to do, but the shit in the second episode's got to come out. It has to come out. So it was just the height of everything that I possibly worked for, and then 2 hours later, just completely destroyed and go completely the opposite way.
Did they do anything about it?
They had to keep me the first episode because the episode was cut and already sent to Discovery. But the second episode, they took care of it. I don't know what happened. One of the guys called me from a different show. I don't know if he pulled strings or not. Nobody's ever believed in me that it wasn't, you know, unconditionally. This guy unconditionally completely believed in me and thought that I was screwed or whatnot. And he helped me big time. I don't know what he did in the background, but I'm sure he did something to help us out. And I can't thank him enough. I still text him every few months to just say, you know, thanks, man. I appreciate what you did for me. Because, you know, people don't stand up like that. People don't stand up for people like that nowadays.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the guy probably could have like sued Discovery Channel for like undisclosing of himself in a sense, right?
Yeah. So it's just. I
mean, it has nothing to do with you. They bought the footage from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I made $800 for it.
Yeah, and that's
which is pennies.
Yeah, it's not worth. Yeah, compared to the probably 100,000 plus they're gonna get from that episode, if not more.
Yeah, I mean, compared to the amount of money that I spend to go get that footage, I make that. You know, I can. You know, nowadays I can make that doing a wedding in like a day.
Yeah.
So like. You know, it's pennies, so it wasn't for the money or anything, but unfortunately it got completely destroyed. And
that's crazy, man. I did not know that, and that's insane.
Yeah,
like, I'm sorry you had to go through that because.
I mean, listen, I probably should have been tougher about it. Some people that were a part of the show were tougher about it, and they didn't give a shit, and they don't care. But this brand, just the brand and the name means so much to me that it's just like, God forbid anything happens to it. It's like it's almost like a child to me. It's insane. I can't even understand the connection I have with it, but it's just like, if something happens to it, it's like, there's a problem and it aggravates me. So that's when I started going into the whole, you know, filming myself and doing the vlog things, more or less because I didn't want to go out and show my face. And I could do that in my garage. Plus it was COVID. So, you know, I barely had a job, so I was in the garage filming. So that's really when Tucci Racing took a turn.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, look, you try it out and see how it works for you. It's how everything works. But at the same time, man, like, you obviously have now you took your little hiatus, let's call it, and look where you're at now, though. You're getting yourself right back into it on your own terms, not just holding the camera for other people racing. Now you're going to be the one out there, you know, filming your own stuff or whatever, having whoever film you racing, whatever it is, you know, like.
Yeah. It was, you know, before that time, it was stressful because, like, you know, 1 minute I'd see on Facebook that, like, somebody's racing tonight. And then I know for a fact that if she's watching this, which is kind of funny, we'll probably laugh, but now my fiance, she was my girlfriend then, you know, I would say, I know I'm going to her house on a Friday night, and next thing you know, we haven't seen each other. And next thing you know, I see on Facebook that there might be a race in New Jersey or Philadelphia in 3 hours. And next thing you know, I'm canceling that. And she's giving me a hard time because she wants to see me. And next thing you know, I'm driving to Philadelphia and I get there and then nothing happens and the cops show up. So it's just like, it was stressful to even, like, I deleted Facebook and everything because I couldn't read the comments and all that. Yeah. And it was just stressful. I just let it die out and then I came back. But, you know, nobody remembers it now. Who gives a shit now? But, you know, then it was pretty much like my whole world was ending in a sense because that brand was being tormented. So it was just stressful, man. It was just constant. So now I don't really worry about that. The street races that go on all over New York. You know, if I get told it's going on, you know, I go, I don't go. I mean, I'm sure that's because of the groundwork that I laid out to get these guys respect. That, like, you know, I can hit them up on any given day and they'll tell me the info.
Yeah.
But, you know, I kind of, constant stressing and worrying that I'm getting there and being there and getting footage has changed since then for sure, which I guess is for the better, because I probably would have been pretty addicted by now if I kept doing the same thing I was doing 2 years ago.
No, absolutely. That's wild, man. I mean, I really would have told all those guys to screw off and be like, I don't see your camera footage being on Discovery Channel, you know? That's crazy, man. Like, good for you. Congratulations, honestly. Like, that's
it is pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Cool. That's really cool to have your footage on TV. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
You know, that's like having a commercial, but even better, it's a TV show.
I had my name at the end and everything. I was so hyped. I was gonna post some stuff, and I was like, man, it's gonna be sick. Everyone's gonna know. Dude. And then 2 days later, I'm practically having a mental breakdown with the lady that gave me the opportunity and telling her.
You need to make sure that stuff is still on your resume, dude, because that's huge.
Believe me. I'm not proud of it. I don't tell everybody what happened to it at the end, but that's absolutely on my resume. That's the only thing it's good for nowadays, because I don't talk about it or try to remember it.
I mean, dude, at the end of the day, you're in the scene, and if it wasn't you filming him, it was somebody else filming him, and it probably would have got blown up on YouTube or something else. You know what I mean? So
it was just.
This is the world that we live in. Sadly, if you want to act a fool in public, people are gonna record you, and there's a good chance that it's gonna get posted somewhere that you probably don't want. So
but it's crazy. It wasn't even, what's funny is it wasn't, I don't even want to keep bothering, boring anybody with it, but it's not even the fact of what the footage was. It was just the fact that, like, we pretty much got attacked for being sellouts, and it was just like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, you did this shit. You asked me to come here. I film it. I put it on YouTube. So what? What if it blew up on YouTube and got 1 million views? I don't think the show even got 1 million views.
Yeah,
the show was a flop.
Yeah, you're gonna be a sellout on YouTube then, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
But that's going back to the original question. That was probably the height. That was probably the height of the Tucci racing career that unfortunately lasted maybe 2 hours after the trailer came out.
I mean, it still is there though. I mean, it's still happened, and it's not like, all right. So again, you took a little bit of a hiatus, but I think, from my perspective, looking at it, you're at a point where now you have all these way cooler things set up. I mean, it's way more fun to have your own shit than be filming other people racing their cars.
Yeah. Well, listen, that was the original goal. You know what I mean? That was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to film for now because we don't have any cars or whatnot. And I'm going to film and do this. And then hopefully it gets our brand to a point where I could put anything on YouTube. Because nowadays, once you get a brand and you get your name out there, you can put anything on YouTube, realistically. And people are going to watch it because it's you and it's your stuff. So I figured eventually I would switch over. But then it just got to a point where I was like I said, I was like practically addicted to being there. So like I didn't do any of this shit other than that. So I think that hiatus probably helped me out mentally after it was over. Obviously, during it was a nightmare. But
and I get that. But that's from what I take. It seems like so. Even just my next. This is honestly a simple question in the sense that we were kind of already talking in this subject, and I think So like what I've been wanting to ask people is like, what core values or like cultural beliefs did you have? Let's say in your case it was like prior to like all this Discovery show stuff happening. Like how are you looking at, I mean, you basically answered this for me in a sense, but like how are you looking at like Tucci racing and growing social media prior to this, and then how are you looking at it now? Like what's your outlook on it, and like how are you looking at it then and how are you looking at it now?
I think it's almost the same. I would assume the numbers thing. What's funny is I didn't really realize it when it was happening, I guess. And realistically speaking, it's not anything crazy because it's in a small space that I work in with the people that, my peers or whatnot. But I just want people to know who we are. You know what I mean? Like I don't necessarily, I know the numbers, like obviously if I have 100,000 subscribers, then I'm getting to a point where I could do YouTube for a living, which is obviously always the goal and it still is the goal. I don't know when I'll hit that, if I'll hit that. I plan on it, but I don't know when or if that'll ever happen. But the whole goal was really just for people to know who we are. you know, and that goal still stands. It's just now instead of chasing people all over the Northeast, filming other people's shit, it's going to be us and doing our own shit and being involved and being in the mix and competing with these guys that we've been filming for the past 5 years. So I'd say the goal was always and still is from then to now. It's just people to know who we are. And it's shocking because people actually do know who we are, which is, I don't know, not that many people, but on Long Island especially. It's kind of funny. You wouldn't think that people would actually know who we are because of the numbers that we make on like YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's interesting how we don't cast a wide net of random viewers, but the people that are important and the people I feel like most of the people at the highest stature of what we do and what we film know who we are. So, but it's always been just, I want people to know who we are.
That's awesome though, that like, I mean, realistically, that's kind of the beauty of like social media in a sense.
Yeah.
Especially when you're involved in like an industry in a sense, or you're searching for something that's like specific, like someone's searching for like Long Island drag racing things in that area or whatever, there's a good chance that like a Tucci racing video will probably pop up,
Yeah.
So, or whatever, you know what I mean, New York and just like those kinds of things. And obviously I would assume the algorithm probably has something to do with it in your area, seeing things that are more.
I would assume so.
But
I mean, and the people we film, but they're a huge part of it. If people didn't do dumb shit in street racing, I would have nothing right now. So I have to give it up to them as well, because if they didn't do shit that we film, then we wouldn't have anything. We wouldn't have a YouTube channel. So
yeah,
at this point at least.
I mean, I've heard crazy stories at some of these street races, so yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
So this is this question's like, I don't even know where you stand on this. I'm not really asking you like what religion you are in a sense, but my question is like, are you spiritual at all? And if you are, like, do you use it to move you forward? If the answer is no, then the answer is just no. But have you ever used either like some kind of spiritual faith or even just like a personal faith, like something that you can like close your eyes and be like, all right, this is what I'm gonna use to get me through today?
Probably not as much as I should. My parents are, but they're in. We're Protestant, so we do all the. They watch church and all that.
Yeah.
And we go to church and all the religion stuff. Obviously, that comes to tail of that. But no, honestly, it's just. I don't know. It's just me wanting to be better. I don't know if that's spirit. That's probably not spiritual at all.
I mean, it definitely is. It's definitely spiritual. It's like, it's an energy kind of thing, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
Do you do anything to like, I mean, I see recently you've been posting stuff on social media, like motivational stuff. Do you watch like motivational videos and things?
You know what's funny? I've always been the person. I have a weird mindset in some of the motivational stuff. I don't know why. But I don't know what it is, but I've been watching more motivational stuff, and I think it's almost because of the Instagram algorithm, because that's all it feeds me nowadays. It's just motivational reels. I don't know why. I watch them in the beginning mostly because I want to actually cut those kind of videos. I think they're really cool, like the workout videos and all that stuff. And I've actually done a few in the automotive. I've taken the workout stuff and fitness stuff with those original sounds and made automotive stuff to it.
That's cool.
But it's just like, I always felt that people that posted that stuff and saying that they're humble, it's like, how are you being humble? You're posting about how hard you work and how humble you are. That doesn't make you humble. People that are humble don't post shit. They don't have an Instagram. So like, it's kind of odd, but I've been getting into that, and I really only started getting into watching the motivational stuff because I actually want to cut that stuff. But then I started watching, and I was like, some of the stuff that they're saying on here is like, it's just so true.
Funny.
It's just like, it's funny how it worked out. I got introduced to it because I'm an editor and I want to edit that stuff. And next thing you know, I'm listening to these people talk and I'm like, oh my God, that's like
on point.
It is motivational. That's why, that's why the videos are made, so it is motitional. So
I start out every morning with probably about if you just literally type in motivational, just motivation on YouTube, obviously there's a lot of different things. I start out every morning with a 10-minute motivational video, and it's a compilation of different speakers.
Yeah.
There's there's a few accounts that I normally watch the same videos, and I don't know, for me it's just I've been doing that probably somewhat consistently for 2 years in a sense. And it's so nice to just wake up and be yeah, I'm gonna get freaking fired up for today, and this is gonna be it, And I don't know, sometimes you need that extra little push of just somebody else telling you can do this, even though it's a pre-recorded and music and all that. But I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not into them. I'm not into the I'm in short forms. I can take short doses of it. You know what I mean? I can take a 15-second, some guy telling something that's ridiculously true and accurate and motivational, and that's it. I don't think I could. I'm not really into the, listening to somebody on stage with a microphone kind of be motivational. But the motivational stuff is definitely something, I listen to it. I'm that.
It's not.
That's true.
Not for everybody, you don't have.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just resonates. It depends on what it is. Some people I can't listen to because I'm just it doesn't work for me. But some people you hear what they say and it's just all right, I need more of this because it sounds so damn good.
Yeah. There's actually one. I guess we'll get into detail on one of them. There's one of them. I can't pronounce his first name, but the UFC fight on Masvidal. I think his first name is Jose. I can't remember his first name.
No, I'm not familiar with him.
But so he basically says something along the lines of, you wanna go in and ask for a raise and all this stuff, but you're partying Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then when you come into the office and you're curious why everyone's doing so well and you're not, it's because you're just not putting the work in.
Yeah.
And it's just I have to, you're probably better off, I don't know if you put it on the screen or whatnot or whatever, I can send it to you to watch, but it's literally 15 seconds of him just talking about that, and I pretty much live my life. Around what he says in that one reel, because it's so true, you know what I mean? You go in and then the people that wake up and get to the job at 9 o'clock and pretty much sit around and then leave at 5. They either do that for the rest of their life or they get laid off or fired.
Yeah.
So you just have to put the work in, and it's just I don't know, that reel for some reason it sticks with me. I'll send it to you after
No,
this.
there's little things for me. What stuck with me is I really like Ed Milet. He's one of these motivational speakers that I've found. I repost him every so often, and he says something, I've heard him say it several times, but he breaks up every day into 3 days. So he talks about how he has from 6 a.m. till 12 in the afternoon, then 12 in the afternoon till 6 p.m., and then 6 p.m. until midnight. And he splits up his day into 3 days. And it's tough to kind of really do that, especially at my level in a sense. When you're someone like him who's fully successful, it's probably a lot easier to control your schedule in a sense. I almost work for other people, so it's whatever works for you, But but at the same time, it's kind of cool to look at the day like that, and I've been trying to, because if I can just get done a whole lot of stuff in the morning, I'm wow, I felt very I feel like I did enough in this part of the morning where it's almost a day's worth of work. I could have sold this off to one of my clients as a day's worth of work in just this 4 hour to 5 hour window I just did right here. And then let's push it. Now it's lunchtime. It's all right, so I'm gonna eat some lunch, and then it's all right, I'll do a little bit more work till 6 o'clock. Same thing, whatever. Now you literally can do a whole other client's worth of work, or whatever it is that you have to do during your day.
Oh,
and now it's
absolutely.
6 p.m. and then same deal. And like you could take that time to relax if you want, or you could take that time to like grind it out even further, like whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It for me, especially because like I'm home all the time working, and it's like it's interesting to look at it like that and be like, oh wow, okay, breaking things up into 3 days. And then his whole point to it is that if you compound that, you know, if I have 3 days, that means I have, you know, over 1,000. I don't even know what 365 times 3 is, but you would have however many days, you know what I mean? And then compared to somebody who only has 365 days, who show, like what you're saying, shows up to work 9 to 5 and just doesn't really care, just there, you know, for whatever reason. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm like doing this podcast in a sense too, is to like, I want to be able to inspire people that like watch these videos, you know. It's like
absolutely,
it is just as it is like your dream to be able to like be on YouTube making these videos of yourself like doing what you love, like around cars. Like my whole like my dream, what I would love to do is be able to like help people that have been in like similar situations that I've been in, and that so many other people have been in, like being lost and not knowing exactly what to do, and like just like the overall stresses of life, and knowing that everybody goes through them, and it's just a matter of just like kicking continuous ass, and it will get a lot easier, you know?
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
I don't know. For it, honestly, so I really only have like a couple more questions here. There's literally like,
listen.
There's one more, really two more questions.
Okay.
It kind of leads into it anyway, what we're saying about, because something that I've definitely personally had to like work on over the past like 2 years, doing, you know, starting my own business and like trying something completely different, because, you know, I've only been a video editor literally for the past like 2 years. Before that, it was just like for shits and giggles. So my question is like, what does fear mean to you? And like, do you use it? Do you fight it? Like, what's your you know, consensus around like the fear that comes your way?
In what sense? Like in just any aspect of life, or just like
in, let's say, towards like the goals that you want, you know, it doesn't have to necessarily, I mean, it can be in just life in general, like, but let's say, you know, towards where you want to go, or things, or even on a past situation that you've had to, you know, get over. Like, what does that mean, and how have you gotten through that, you know?
That's a great question. And I honestly, I don't even. I might have to think about that one. I might have to think of that one. I guess I don't really have much at stake right now, realistically, because, you know, my name isn't out there to a point that like I'd have to fear somebody taking it down. Unfortunately, I went through that in 2020, which I just explained. So like, true. You know, I don't really know. So how'd you get? I don't really know how I got through that.
What worked for you to get through that fear of like, you know,
hiding out? Deleting Facebook was probably the number one thing. Which, listen, what's funny is, because if I didn't want to make a living on YouTube and social media, there's absolutely no chance I would have. I don't know if you feel this anyway either, but I would have no social media, because when I deleted Facebook and Instagram and YouTube for like those 2 weeks, I got like so much shit done. It was like outrageous. It's nuts. And honestly, if I wasn't trying to make a living on it, which is ironic because I don't like it and I don't like social media, but I'm trying to make a living on it, I wouldn't have it. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, fear anything yet besides just, like I said before, I mean, if I had a deadline, you know, like if I was to say, hey, listen, you know, by 2024, if I'm not doing this YouTube thing, I'm going to start something else, then like my fear would be, you know, being able to, you know, execute that and make that happen. But I'm just going to keep doing this at my own pace. And if this thing sticks one day, it sticks. And if it doesn't, then I don't want to seem cocky or a douchebag, but you guys missed out.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to do, I feel like people are going to miss out. I feel like we're going to do great things. And, you know, hopefully more people come on for the ride.
I think so too, man. You make good videos.
Yeah.
Your thumbnails are on point. Like I think you have everything going. No, I'm dead ass. Like I think you have everything.
No, I appreciate it.
I think you have everything going to make a successful YouTube channel. Because some of the shit I see on YouTube, I'm like, how does this person have 1 million subscribers? Like this blows my mind.
It's crazy.
It's like some 19-year-old kid just like talking. Like that's it. All he does is just talk about random stuff. You're like, okay,
It's
like
nuts.
This guy has 1 million subscribers. Like that's insane. You know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is a level of I truly believe this. I think there is a level of like one, uniqueness, and two, like professionalism in a sense that you need to bring to YouTube today in order to have a successful page. And like
absolutely
having basically a custom racing car channel brings that uniqueness all day long. And you also like you do video. That's like what you do. So those two combinations, like it's funny because people have even said to me like, oh, you're doing a podcast, like it must be tough or whatever, like it's a lot of work. And I'm like, yeah, but this is what I do for a living. Like I literally I edit other people's podcasts sometimes, so it's not that big of a deal. This is just like a journey that I want to try and go through, you know?
Yeah.
So I totally respect it, you know, totally.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, it's a lot of work, bro. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it is what we do. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, every day I go to my computer and I work and I edit videos. I work for a company right now. I don't work for myself. But like I said, man, it's just what we do. Like I said, the car thing and making videos is just every day. That's just something. It's just second nature to us. It's just what we do.
Yeah. No, and I get that. Like, I don't know. I've been making videos since I was a kid, and for some reason, I guess it's something that I've always liked, you know, something about it. Doesn't make everybody tick, you know, but there's just a few that it's like, oh, okay, that's, but everybody has their own thing, you know, everybody does. Like, I'm really not that much into like drag racing, but like it's cool. Yeah. It's cool to me. You know what I mean? It's awesome. I love that shit. But like, it's not everybody's like thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not, but everybody has something, and all you have to do is capture a small percent of the people who like that one thing, man, and you're still rocking and rolling. You know, especially something that's in the car scene. So, yeah, man. I mean, all right. I'm gonna take it as like overall. I mean, like, fear is just like, I don't know. It wasn't, especially in that aspect. I mean, it definitely was a pain and a stress and all that. But I mean, you got through it at the end of the day, and I think, you know, that you have much better. I don't know. I like your situation now better than prior to COVID. You know what I mean? The fact that you got cars in the mix, it makes it way more fun. So
yeah, I mean, listen, it's awesome, and just, you know, doing it with my dad. I mean, who says, you know,
and that's cool.
Not many people could say that, and then especially, you know, it's not my garage. It's my dad's, but, you know, being able to go out in the garage in the backyard and do, you know, build, you know, 85% of the car completely from scratch with your dad in the backyard. I mean, that right there. Nobody has to watch the videos. You know, realistically, I'm doing it. Yeah. So, you know, and if somebody watches, like I said. So, it's a journey.
Yeah, but that's awesome. And a lot of people can't even say, you know, that they can do that stuff with their dad in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't have that opportunity, or even have their dads that even care that much about the situation, whatever. So, kudos to you, man. That's awesome.
I appreciate it.
Are you working on anything like right now? I know you're working on a car, right?
I'm working. You know what's? I'm into a new thing now where I used to play Xbox at night. That's what I did, and I recently stopped doing that. And I said every single night I'm gonna come here, and even if I don't get something done, it's just gonna be the typical saying, just keep showing up. So every night at 10 o'clock, I'm going to sit at this computer and I'm going to think about what's next. Whether I actually do something that night or not, I don't really know. But I'm going to be at this computer ready to do something. And then once something comes to my head, I'm going to do it.
I love that, man. That's awesome.
So right now, I'm kind of in a starting a business kick. I don't know why, but I was originally going to try to do the drop shipping of automotive parts under Tucci Racing and make like its own website that we could sell parts. But I'm actually starting a small, it's very early, but trying to sell baseball merchandise. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now.
That's dope.
Which
That's
is
cool.
Which is also social media as well. Obviously, we'll have social media branding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So working on a website and all that, centered around baseball. I devoted so much of my life to it, and then for so long after I stopped playing, I kind of like pushed it aside because I was so into the racing thing, which I am. And for some reason, for me, I don't know if you have this too, but if I have a goal, and like I'm doing something, there's no other activity I can't focus on another activity because then I feel guilty because I'm not putting 110% into the other thing.
Yeah, I know, dude. I do the same thing. If I do something, you just dive in first. There's no looking back.
When I was playing baseball, it was like, I couldn't play any other sport. I couldn't do anything else. I mean, I did typical high school kid thing. Well, I guess not typical high school things. I wasn't fucking popular or anything like that. So I didn't do the popular kid shit, but I did, I played video games and whatnot and hang out with friends.
Typical
but, I just played baseball. That's what I did. And like, if I felt like if I went through a phase of like doing another sport for like 2 weeks, I'd be like, what the fuck am I doing this for?
Yeah.
I'm playing baseball. What am I, playing golf for? This isn't what I do. This isn't my goal. So then I quit doing it. But I feel like there's so many people that have so many different aspects of life and so many different businesses that like, I should be able to do other things. So like now I'm trying to do both. Now I'm trying to get some baseball aspect back because I miss it and I want to get back in the game somehow. And I don't want to play another game. I don't have to play another game ever again, but I want to get back into the routine of training for baseball and stuff like that to help my health and all that. And coming with that, I feel like it would be cool to start.
Yeah, man. I mean, look.
Start a little merchandise company.
All it starts with is just one thing every day. That's how I started this business. Literally in 20, it was what was it? It was January of 2020. It was right before COVID hit. I told myself I'm going to do one thing every day for the next 2 years and see where I'm at. And 2 years later, I had a business, like a legitimate LLC. So which is I can't even get enough because is this the first episode of the podcast, by the way? This is number 2.
What number is this?
This is number 2.
Okay. So you probably explained yourself. I was going to ask you to explain something about you, but if you've already did, then on the last one. But so it's just it's crazy because I don't know who you associate with nowadays or whatnot.
Me, myself, and I.
Yeah. Okay. It's pretty much me too. I keep a tight circle, and I don't let people in on. I'm like,
you're looking at it.
I don't want. This is gonna sound like I'm a complete dick, but I don't want anybody's opinion. It's like I don't want anybody's opinion because if I want to do something, I'm just gonna go and try to do it. And if somebody tells me I can't do it, I'm just gonna try to do it anyway. So like I keep a tight circle too and stuff like that. So
I mean, a lot of people around you will push you down, and nobody wants that.
Yeah, but like I was saying, back to you, man. I mean, it's been. I know we spoke maybe once or twice through DMs on Instagram, and since then, man, you've done amazing things, and I'm super happy for you. And I think you're killing it, bro. I mean, you surpassed tons of people that I know. I went to film school with kids and shit like that still ain't got no job and have no aspirations and do absolutely nothing. Yeah. And you decided to just go out on your own 2 years ago during COVID, and you're killing it, dude. I have all the respect in the world for you and
thanks, man.
What you're doing, man. It's unbelievable. And I'm not saying that shit because we're on the podcast and whatnot. That's from the bottom of my heart. It's incredible what you've done in 2 years.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It's definitely I'm not where I want to be, that's for sure, but I'm willing to keep on going. The thing that I've just noticed is that a lot of my past experiences have definitely brought me to the level that where I am, like learning about sales and talking to people and like that's all this is about. That's all business is about. It's all about being able to like correctly network with people and like sell yourself and your business all at the same time,
Absolutely.
And like I've taken so many different sales classes now between the different jobs I've had. They've sent me to different sales classes and
okay.
And I mean you learn so much and a lot of it's the same too. So it's like a good reminder every time you go to these. And I would recommend sales classes for anybody just because I think that's how you just get through life better realistically, is just being able to like sell yourself, And that... No, I totally understand that. I think that's been one of my biggest attributes is that I can just be like, so do I have the job? Is this something is this something you're looking for? You know what I mean? Just trying to be able to like close that and on an ethical level. Because I've done sales before, and I even said this in the last podcast, that like I've done sales before where I didn't feel like I was selling things that were like an ethical product. Or or like even not, for example, not necessarily an ethical product or ethical price. Like the price is too high for a product that is supposed to be like, way low. And the person you're selling it for is like telling you have to sell it at this price. And you're like, that's not right though. You're like, I'm ripping this person off. Like I don't like doing that kinds of stuff. I would like to provide either a product or a service that I'm confident in, that I know is quality, and that I can back all day long, that I'm like, this is good. And that's why I love working for myself, because it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I know I have quality product and service because I'm the one that has full control over it. And if there is any issues, then I get to, adjust things and whatever. So it's a journey though, man.
It is. What'd you do before you started this?
Before this, I was working at Ford. It was a Ford, Subaru, and Lincoln dealer as a service advisor.
As in what, a salesman?
Yeah, so like in the service
advisor?
Yeah, so like you would come in for like brakes and tires and all that stuff. And I mean, it was good. The job was good. The thing is that the money kind of like, I mean, the money wasn't terrible for what it was, but the hours were long, and I was doing like over 50 or probably about 50% of the work, considering there was like 4 service writers and I'm literally doing like 50% of the work. So it was a little bit crazy, and it was during COVID, but I mean, like, bro, it was nuts. I was making the dealership close to like $100,000 a month, like literally just by myself. And the rest of the guys there were making like 40 to 50 grand a month, and I was like, how are these numbers so skewed right now? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, and everybody would get like the same commissions, and but I mean, like, that's just what that job was. And at the end of the day, it's what service writing is. It's just like, it kind of sucks. You can get yourself built up to a point where like you can eventually be a manager, and then it doesn't really suck anymore. But you get stuck in one of those jobs, it's just like the hours aren't fun. Sometimes you got customers yelling at you and stuff like that. It's just like,
damn.
Yeah, but I did that for like 2 years. Before that was some construction, and then before that was like a bunch of different sales jobs where I was working at Honda selling cars. Then I was working at a brokerage firm. I was selling currencies to Canadians.
Damn, you were hanging around different jobs. So was I. That's what also we have in common.
Yeah, man. I was selling.
I was just different delivery companies.
I mean, bro, anything. I think like. I mean, like, I didn't really... All I did was go to 2 years of Nassau, and realistically, my opinion on school is, like, I think it's great, but I wouldn't take back any of the work experience that I had, because I've had so many different jobs, and I've met so many people, and they've taught me so many great things, that it's way more than anybody that I know that went to some 4-year university would have ever grasped in those 4 years.
Absolutely.
I
totally agree.
I think that's why I'm able to create a business like the one that I have right now, because I can understand it from a little bit of a different perspective.
Yeah. I totally understand.
But I don't know. That's really though. I mean, enough about me though. No, I'm just kidding. But dude, that's awesome about the baseball stuff. I mean, like, I hope you like, continue to keep crushing it and like kill your dream. You know what I mean? Like, go for it and make it happen. You know, that's the plan. My biggest thing in the past 2 years for myself was being able to tell myself I was going to do something and actually following through on it. Yeah. Because, and that's something even. Oh, that was my alarm for our actual time. But yeah, I don't know. This for me is like one of the biggest things, and I would like stress that upon like anybody because it's so easy to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, you know, later, or I'll just keep pushing it off, and then it's like there. So I mean, like, dude, if you know, that's awesome that you're telling yourself you're gonna do this and make it happen. You know.
Listen, I'm trying. It's tough. You know what I mean? I get here and I'm pretty tired some nights or whatnot, and you know, I pretty much just sit here. But as long as I'm here and I'm looking and I'm thinking about it, you know, I'm ready to do something. You know, I was so wrapped up in doing other shit that now it's just, this is my time to do this. And whether I'm thinking about it, I'm putting stuff on paper, I'm doing this at this time. Yeah. So
just one thing every day, man. That's it.
Yeah.
So what's your goal with that going forward? What do you hope to make out of it? Like what kind of products? What's your goals?
In what the baseball aspect?
Let's say both.
Just in general.
In the baseball aspect, because I'm curious, and in like Tucci racing and so on. Like, what are your goals going forward?
I guess we'll start with the baseball company. The baseball company is really to just like get me back into the game, really. So as long as I'm back and swinging and stuff like that, like I started waking up early and going for walks and working out. Now I wake up at like 6:30 in the morning and like I go out before work and stuff like that. As long as the baseball company and the thought of baseball motivates me to be more active, because the job I had before here, I was working for a lot of delivery companies, and next thing you know, I quit those companies and I started doing this full time at home, and next thing you know, like my health just got completely out of control. So really for the goal for the baseball brand is to just be in the game somehow. So be affiliated with the game, make some cool merchandise. You know, it'd be really awesome to make some passive income on it, which would be great because we're doing print on demand to start. So we don't have any stock or anything. So you know, it makes a passive income would be awesome to help pay for some bills and fund the racing and stuff like that would be awesome. Yeah. So really the baseball thing was just instead of playing in games and being on a team, it's just now just practicing because I want to for myself. And like I have goals in baseball that I now have that are just for me. They're not, it's not like I'm going to take those and execute those in games or anything, but I have goals for myself. And, you know, I just want to be back. I just want to be back in the game. So that's really my goal for the baseball thing, is just to keep doing it so I stay in the game. I still have a passion for it. I can't deny it.
Yeah, man, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good way to get yourself involved in something that you're passionate about.
Plus, we built this race car, and I was about 60 pounds lighter when we built the cage for it. So now I'm pretty tight in there. So I gotta shed some pounds to help me out, get out of it. God forbid I'm fucking smushed up against a wall or you know, we wreck or something like that. Yeah. So well, you know, it's obviously helping in that future as well. But yeah, man. My goal for Tucci Racing right now, I guess my year, if you want to say, like, being that we're recording this on the 5th of January, my goal for 2023 is to have as many videos as half a year. So like that was my goal for last year. I didn't make it. I was like 30 shy, but I want to post a video every other day on YouTube, but it doesn't necessarily have to be every other day. So like take the amount of years and cut it in half. That's how many videos I want to have posted in 2023. Yeah. It's kind of tough to do it every other day because, one, I don't do it full time. Yeah. So like it's not like I could be outside working on the car all day long like all these people do when they're super famous. They don't have to have a job. They just work on their own shit and film it. So it's kind of tough to do it every other day.
Yeah.
So I like to have as many videos posted as half of the amount of days in the year. I'm fucking horrible at math, so I don't even know that day. I don't even know how many videos that is. I think it's like 170. So somewhere around there.
That would be 180.
Yeah.
2.5.
Okay, so I want to have 182 videos posted on Tucci Racing, whether they're lives, reels, or videos. I want 182 of all of those three combined posted in 2023. So that's my 2023 goal.
Honestly, that's a good goal, dude. I mean, I tried doing like a post a week. That was pretty tough. I got like, I think I got to like 30 videos, and then I was like, all right. And then honestly, I started doing more business stuff. So it was a good transition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my goal for 2023 for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and I think if you do that, I think the Tucci Racing account will blow up, seriously, because
I hope so.
You got some cool stuff going on, and you already have some don't you have like 2,000 subscribers already?
I think we have 4.
4? That's even better.
Yeah, it's funny because I have 4, but like,
so are you monetized though?
Yeah, I have such a hard time with AdSense and stuff like that like I really have no idea how that works, and I probably should ask you about it because I'm assuming you know how it works.
Yeah.
But I have no idea how it works. I just know how much I made in lifetime, which I told you before was $172, which I've never gotten, by the way.
Killing it.
Because I don't know how to set any of that stuff up. I just know it's there in whatever AdSense universe they got.
Yeah.
But
that happened to one of my clients who had like 1 million views on her video, and she had like 20K sitting in YouTube. She was like,
"Oh shit!"
Yeah, she was like, "Oh my god."
Nice.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. Yeah, I got.
I know.
I know how much is there, but I have no idea how to get it.
Yeah. All right.
I got no idea.
We'll talk about it during the week.
Yeah, we'll have to discuss that. You probably teach me a lot more than YouTube than I think I know.
Probably.
I study what people do, but I don't really study the YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on it a lot. I'm always posting for different clients and things, so
yeah.
I might know some things you don't, but maybe vice versa. I'm sure you can teach me something too.
Nah, I can pretty much guarantee you know more than I do. you know more than I. So we're gonna have to discuss off air.
Yeah. On a call. We'll share your screen.
YouTube. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So I guess my last question is just where can anybody who watches this video, where can they find you? Okay.
So I am on. Geez, we're on a couple of them. Our biggest one is Instagram. It's just Tucci_racing. YouTube is Tucci Racing. TikTok is Tucci Racing with no underscore. And then we got Facebook, which is Tucci Racing. So luckily we got all of them pretty much the same. So you look up Tucci Racing on any 4 of those social media platforms. You might have to do some digging on some of them, but probably on Instagram. Instagram, it should come up because that's where we got the most following. But the other ones, if you do a little bit digging, you type in Tucci Racing, it should come up, no problem. So
YouTube, you'll come right up for sure.
I mean, listen, I would hope so. I would hope so.
Yeah, you don't know how these damn algorithms work these days. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody knows, is what I was just saying, is that nobody knows how this social media marketing goes. I was having a meeting earlier with this guy, and he's like, oh, like, what's your tactics? And I was like, I mean, I just follow the trends and see what's working for other people, and I've created a little bit of, like, my own way to go about it. But other than that, like, I don't think anybody knows what they're doing, realistically. I was like, from any level of marketing, I don't think anybody knows. It's just, like, a matter of trying things out and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't work. Like, even people on the highest end, that they're still trying stuff out. They're like, I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it and see if it works.
Yeah, it's crazy. It just feels like people throw stuff at the wall, and then if it sticks, and it's almost like that first person has to get completely lucky, and then after that, people follow that trend of just getting lucky, and they take that one sound or whatnot, and next thing you know, it just completely blows up.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It's just that simple, It's just a matter of did you hit the lotto that day,
Yeah.
And then if it happens, then But again, I think a lot of it does come down to like the consistency of the videos that you make, because you can see accounts that have just like good videos. They made them consistently, and then eventually they started rolling in some good subscriber counts. So
well, that's what we did on Instagram. I mean, that's how we built our Instagram. I don't know if we even got into how it got to where it was, but
yeah,
we posted 3 times a day for like other people's stuff too. We didn't even have cameras or anything like that. We were just that media company that basically posted other people's pictures and stuff and news and stuff like that, mixed in with our hours a little bit. And, my cousin came to the idea because we were starting to build another car, and he was like, we should start an Instagram. We should post pictures of that car. And I said, yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe we'll post some pictures of some other stuff and whatnot. And we'll post that. And the next thing you know, we're posting 3 days a week for like, I don't know. Posted 3 days a week for like a year maybe.
Wow.
And then that's when we got to like, once we started getting our own equipment, then at about maybe like 15K followers, or maybe like 12 or somewhere around there, we say, you know what, we're going to stop posting other people's shit. We take enough of our own stuff. We're going to post our own stuff. And that's when we started taking over. But I mean, we posted 3 days a week for like a year and a half, maybe.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It took a while, and it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it is, it is worth it. 28,000 people follow us, so I mean, that's pretty cool, I think.
Hell yeah. Well, that's sick, man. All right, well, Tucci Racing, that's where we can find you.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, I love it. This is the second episode of Follow the Winners podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe.